Hello guys and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Africa. I am Miriam.
I'm Miriam too.
I'm Joshua.
And I'm Cherry.
And you're watching
Let's Talk Africa.
You guys look cute. So we're just gonna go straight into the topic and not ramble so much. Today we're talking about Africa and tourism. And I'm going to start off by saying, number one, tourism is an aspect of their society where people come to visit a particular place, whether for business, for pleasure, or any of that, whether you're doing it internationally or locally, because tourism isn't just, oh, I traveled abroad. Okay. You could decide to visit somewhere while you were still in the country and it's still called tourism. And you can decide to go outside the country and it could still be called tourism.
Okay.
So whether you're going there for business or for pleasure, just sightseeing, or you're going to meet different people, that's tourism generally. And why it is so important to economy, because it's a way of advertising your country to people that are coming for the first time.
Yeah.
Imagine someone coming all the way from China to come to Nigeria for the first time, or you going to South Africa for the first time. It's just a way of showing them your culture, what you guys are all about, your business, and so many things. And it has created so many relevance because so many countries have made money from this as it is. So I'm going to take it to you, Joshua. What would you say to people who are coming to visit a particular country for the first time and they have this, they are scared or they don't want to come or they don't feel they can come to this place? People that have poor perspective when it comes to visiting Africa as a tourist center, what would you say to people like that?
I would say Africa is beyond what people think it is. We're past the stone age, you know. So Africa has so many attractive places where you can come, chill, have a good time. We have places like Seychelles, Egypt, and so many very cool places in Nigeria where you can go around and have a good time. So Africa is beyond what people think it is.
Yeah. But people have this perspective that when you come to Africa, we're not really civilized, especially in the Western world. People have complained of the situation when people ask you, maybe a Nigerian that's schooled abroad, oh, do you live in trees? Do you still hop on monkey bars and all of that? Do you guys wear clothes? There are questions like that. So what would you say to people like that who feel we are still in the local Africa?
What the information people get out there is as much information we put out there. So I think as Africans, if we project ourselves more in terms of advertisement, because those people that are actually going to a particular place don't know about this place, or they've probably heard about it from someone. So if we project what we have out there through our movies, social media, and all of that, you see that a lot of people that come to Africa will come with a different mindset. But when we have movies that project us as those are Thai trees, I mean, what do you want them to think? They've never been here. Or when you have people want to do a professional shot about a picture of a place in Africa, they go to the bushes where people are still tying clothes. I mean, we're more than that. Like he said, Africa is so much more than what people think. So I would want to encourage people to step out of the box.
Speaking on step out, there are some countries in Africa that do so well when it comes to tourism, and it's not because they have beautiful places more than others. What do you think is the problem? Why do you think people do more? Some countries do so well when it comes to tourism and some are so bad when it comes to tourism.
Okay, I would say that's because it depends on who is coming in to where. We have different countries in Africa, about 51 or thereabout, and then we have a lot to offer. Okay, so you have people coming in from the Europeans. They actually go to most of this northern part of Africa because of the proximity to Europe. So you have places like Morocco and Egypt and Tunisia getting a lot of people going there because of the proximity. And also it depends on what people want to see. A lot of people that are crazy about the safari, that's when you see a lot of people going to South Africa to see the kind of animals they have, or these ones are actually supposed to be extinct, but they are not. It depends on what somebody wants to see. And if somebody wants to chill out by the beach side, come on, you know where you want to go. So I think it depends on not only where the people want to go to see, but the maintenance culture of these places.
Before we go any further, we sent out a tweet on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook to hear what people are really saying about this, because this is a very, very skeptical issue. It favors some people more than it favors some people, and then we have some tweets that we'll be reading out to you from people and what they have to say about this. All right, so we'll be reading some of the tweets. At Kofi from Ghana says, Africans have a poor maintenance culture compared to Western world. so very few countries are able to maintain tourist attraction. Now, I'm coming to you, Cherry, because you were saying something similar to this.
Yes, like I was saying, a lot of places here in Africa, they're not properly maintained. So if I come here the first time and then I get a good experience, I want to tell my friends about it. And then we come back the next time, it's either the tour guide doesn't know where to take us, or it's actually closed down for business. I wouldn't want to come back next time. That experience is registered in my mind. So when people know how to maintain these things, because they know how much they actually make from it, they'll maintain it and then people will start coming in. So if I have maybe a tourist center which I'm managing, and then every year in, year out, I know how much I'm getting from it. I know how much to put back into it. Because a lot of people, the way they run their businesses is, once I make money from it, they stop investing in it. No.
That's true.
So you keep putting in more, and that's the way you can keep getting more out of it. Okay.
All right, so we'll be taking another tweet from @Uluwatosin, who says the rampant religious crisis in some African countries, e.g. Nigeria, nobody will want to come and visit. Now, I'm going to throw that question to you, Mr. Joshua, because you answered the question talking about what would we say to people who don't really want to come and visit Africa. So how would you tackle this type of issue?
Okay, I would say this boils down to the security of the place. The government have to put measures for this to happen. Then you have to provide good security for the tourists, like wherever they go and whatever they do. And the government have to make sure these crises have to end and deal with it before any other thing happens.
All right, we'll be taking another message, and this is from Facebook, and this is from David Joshua, who says, especially in Nigeria, lack of proper funds to maintain tourist attraction
These people are attacking Nigeria like this.
is a problem. So I'm going to take it to you, and then I want to ask, what do you think about this?
Well, I totally agree with Mr. David concerning the lack of funding in Nigeria. It's actually a big problem that is affecting tourism in Nigeria.
All right, so this is going to lead to another question that I want to ask you, and it says, what can we do? Because people are really lamenting on this thing. So what can we do to improve tourism, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa totally?
Okay. Well, as we all know, tourism is a form of a way to grow
boost
our
our
economy
economy,
in Africa or Nigeria as a whole. So we need to create proper funding, just as Mr. David on the Facebook
Page was saying.
page. Yes, the government needs to diversify. You know, we have in Nigeria, we have things to fall back on.
Yes.
But there are some countries in Africa that does not
There
have
are actually
anything.
countries who make so much money from
Yeah,
just tourism.
From just
alone.
tourism.
Yeah.
It creates job opportunities for them, for their youth, for people out there, and it's actually a source of to create income in their country.
Yeah.
But we in Nigeria, we have crude oil, which the government actually put their more interest on it. They put
focus so much
on it. Yes.
Yeah.
So they don't see tourism as
An important aspect
yes,
of
it's just
Just
there.
oil and gas.
national
Yes,
development.
it's just there. So government needs to put more fund to create infrastructure,
Yes.
like roads, proper roads.
Yeah, because
Infrastructure
there are
is a
roads-
big
There's some
challenge.
places you want to go and there's
It's
no
not accessible.
road.
It's
Yeah.
not
There's no
accessible.
access road to those places. So government needs to create infrastructures that will enable visitors, like people, most especially people that are not from this part of the world, to come in, have access roads to those places, and then fee. There are some tourist centers which, before you go, you must pay.
You must pay your life out.
So if you're actually going as a group, or so when you think about that fee,
You're discouraged,
of going. So they need to reduce such fees for people to actually, and tourism should not be a mere sightseeing. Let there be something more interesting that people around the world will want to be a part of, will want to put their interest in. Let it not just be a sightseeing, okay, we saw this and that's it. There are more things we need to put into it, most especially in Nigeria, that will
Make it more attractive.
Yes.
All right.
So I also think that apart from the government putting more into tourism, we have individuals that can do this. The private sector. I mean, I know of some tourist companies around. Yeah. So if they could do more than what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Okay. So that we could have Africa out there, they should do more by researching on new places people could go to. Because come on, we are tired of going to the same places over and over again.
Yeah.
If you want to introduce a place to someone, come on, I've been there. Anywhere else, I can we'll get back to you. So I think they should do more in the private sector. Those that have individuals should be more interested in getting into tourism as an investment. And then they should do more to discover these places, and then that's when the government can now come in, develop the roads, and then go get.
Thanks, Jerry, for that. That will lead us to our next question that I'll be asking, and it is, what are the hidden spots in Africa that will create good tourism that people should come and visit from outside that I've never been heard of? Because people always talk about pyramids of Egypt, they talk about the River Nile. So tell us somewhere that we don't know about that we would love to visit. I'm going to start with you, Cherry.
Okay, there's this place in it's not my village though, but it's somewhere. We discovered it when we were going on exploration.
Okay.
As geologists, we went on a lot of field trips. So it's actually a beach. It's called, we named it Nkapi Beach.
Oh,
yeah, it was after a
nice.
guy in my class. The guy is so corny, so funny, so corny. So we called it Nkapi Beach.
Okay.
And then it's in Eastern Obolo.
Oh.
Yeah, so you cross the water to get to it. It is beautiful. The palm trees are magnificent. The water there is wonderful. Like the fresh air there is different. Even though we have other beaches around, but that place I will never forget it. I can't wait to go back to it.
All right,
very
nice.
nice.
Okay, so Miriam, what's your own place?
Okay. I'll be proud to talk about my village.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's in your
This
village?
place is actually in Nigeria. Plateau State,
Wow.
Mangu local government.
Whoa! Like you have all the descriptions to it.
So it's actually the name of is a very small stream.
Okay.
It's small, very small.
All the small but mighty kind of a thing.
It's just so small, just not more than this plate. Like it's
Wow.
not actually very big. It's just a small stream that you can get a lot of water. People come from places to get water. It's actually next to this Swan Water Hills.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
It's a little bit. It's not far from it. So that place is called Ampido, where you can get a lot of water. A lot.
So are you
Like-
saying that we can
like
connect the
tankers.
pipe to the desert and
You
then
can
the
connect
water
it
should
and
open?
the water will never
Water
All
is-
desert should go to Miriam's
coming
village.
and coming and coming.
Please go and go to Miriam's village if you need of water. That's right.
Okay, there's a place in Nasarawa State, a place called Akiri, Awe local government area in Akiri. There's this small stream. Okay, I went there sometime. I spent like 2 weeks there. They said the villagers said that stream has been boiling for more than 100 years.
Wow.
Like it boils, you can't step your feet in that stream. People just stay by the side and have their bait. It
Even during the
boils
Harmattan
all
period?
round, yeah, all year round it boils.
Like I don't need to boil water.
Yeah, you see the bubbles coming out, like it boils.
Wow.
You get 100 degrees centigrade of water there.
We have something that's
all year round.
beautiful
Man.
here in
It's a
Africa.
very, very
That's
nice place for
nice.
people to
That's
see.
very nice.
All right, so since we're all talking about Nigeria, let me advertise our country, because if we don't advertise it,
Who will?
I'm going to talk about Idorin Hills, which is located in Ondo State. There is a myth that goes around the rock. They said during the olden days, they used to have these fights, and then each time people come to fight the people of Idorin, they will run into the hills, and the hills will swallow them. So it was like their sanctity. So it's very beautiful rock. The way the rocks are placed are just like magic.
Wow.
Because a small rock could balance a big rock on it, and it hasn't fallen after all these years. So people
Wow.
really, not many people know about it, except you're from Ondo State. So please, if you really want to, see magic, please visit Ondo State.
So many places.
I'll try to.
There's so many other places you could visit, but that's the time we have for sure today. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, leave your comment, let's know what you're talking about. If you really want to follow up on the conversation, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. From all of us here at Spontaneous Media, thank you for watching Best of Africa. See you next time. Bye.